How spiritual awakening feels and why people have these experiences. I want to tell you about my spiritual awakening. It has completely displaced and dismantled everything that held me back for the past 30 years. How spiritual awakening feels, why people have these experiences. The symptoms that arise are unique to the individual when they are on this path. It's when we pass through a life-changing event or intense contemplation that forces us to experience change. There we begin to question our lives and its meaning, as we soon realize that there is more to life beyond our physical needs and senses. Signs start showing up all over the place. So, according to my experience, I'll tell you how it feels to be on the path of waking up to spiritual awareness and what signs are to be expected. If you find yourself reading this, then something must be at fight inside yourself that desperately wants to wake you up. It feels like urgency, and you know that you need to do something about it, but you don't know what. Many people are saying, that's just the midlife crisis, and they try to ignore it. What you don't know yet, it's that you are about to be introduced to your spiritual being. Your inner feeling, it's not going to stop no matter your beliefs or doings. You will need to confront the feeling and start to make friends with it, find out what he wants and how you can be of aid. Don't try to fight it, a fight like that may ruin your life. My experience with my inside self started 3 years ago, and we are still getting to know and understand each other. Unfortunately, I had no guidance, and I know firsthand how hard and scary it can be. You can think of your inner voice almost like of your higher self, or future self. It's that part of you which takes control when you are in shock or scared, or it's jumping or ducking an unseen danger or obstacle. It's the feeling that tries to warn you about a person's intention and much more. It's that wise part of you that can float high above the details of the moment. It's always there inside, unnoticed until now. This time the feeling of him, it starts to stay longer, and you feel his presence more often and more clearly until it becomes almost expected, and you start to feel like you are losing control. Most of us don't know what's happening with us, and we start to blame our jobs or our lives. We even blame our childhood. We develop a sense of rebellion, like it's time to do what we want and not what we must. At this stage we are the most destructive with our lives. Gambling, cheating, expending, destroying friendships, and it can go as far as losing ourselves. That's the moment when we realize that we need to do something about it, but most of us are just starting to be worried and scared. It's difficult to talk about this because it feels so intimate, almost like something forbidden, something that you should feel shameful for it. It's very difficult to talk about it or seek counseling. We start to think that something is wrong with us and that we are losing our minds. From my experience with it, I can tell you that you are not crazy, and you are not just imagining your desperation, but rather you are experiencing your rebirth, and in order for you to find peace you need to start to educate yourself spiritually. Start to watch documentaries about spirituality, all kind, not just one-sided. Don't get stuck with religion, or some cultural teaching, but rather keep your mind open for theories. You will need as much information as you can possibly get. Start to meditate, especially try true meditations to connect your mind to your heart. On your journey you will find a community of wonderful people which are there to help. Be open about it, most of them know your struggle. Most difficult I find it to be confronting your past sense of self. At this stage you will need to confront your childhood, from the moment you can remember, until your present self. All your trauma, all the feelings that you tried so hard to ignore, whether out of fear or shame, or any kind of frustrations or unfulfilled desires. You need to reevaluate them with your present perception. You will learn very fast that you cannot trust your memory when it comes to your feelings. To be able to do that you must first ask yourself a question. Who am I? If you keep it simple and you are brave and honest with yourself, you will soon realize that your present sense of self is a recollection of your past experiences of some event. What happened to you, physical, mental or emotional, and it was interpreted by your perception at that time. And that is challenging. It's way easier to recollect yourself from the past than to project yourself into the future. Without reevaluating your experiences and their real impact on you, you project yourself over and over again without changing anything. We tend to hang on to negative past experiences from our lives tighter, and without knowing, it becomes our sense of self. It doesn't matter what you have done in your past, if your spirit tries to contact you, it means you are already worthy to meet him. The only thing that stays in your way is your weak perception. He always makes the first step towards you. He is you and you are him, and he's going to liberate you from your hell, which you have created in your perception. But you need to do the work. He is going to guide you until you will understand what you are. You will find a lot of literature written on this matter, and it will help you on your way, but you will not find one that's going to satisfy you completely. And that is the whole point. You will find out how special you are, being so different from all others, and that your story is still being written. You will feel love like never before. Love will radiate so strongly out of your heart that you will smile like a child and will not be able to stop talking about it. Ultimately, the goal is to learn to believe. You will start to understand that you have a big power inside yourself, given to you from another dimension. You can be happy and fulfilled because you are you.